The sky above the lunar observatory was always black, but tonight it felt different. Dr. Kim checked her instruments again, frowning at the readings. For 3 weeks, she had tracked an anomaly at the edge of the solar system. At first, she thought it was an error. Now she was certain it wasn't. Director Park should see this, she muttered, saving the data to her tablet. The hallways of the Lunar Research Station were quiet at this late hour. Most researchers had retired to their quarters, but light spilled from under Director Park's office door. Dr. Kim knocked softly. "Come in," called a tired voice. Director Park sat behind his desk, surrounded by holographic charts. His eyes were tired, but they sharpened when Dr. Kim placed her tablet in front of him. "What am I looking at?" he asked. "Something big is coming toward our solar system," Dr. Kim said. "Really big. And it's moving in ways that defy our understanding of physics." Director Park studied the data. "How certain are you?" "I checked everything 3 times. This is real." Within days, space agencies worldwide were alerted. Emergency meetings were called. Telescopes across Earth and throughout the solar system turned toward the anomaly. Dr. Kim could barely sleep. When the first visual confirmation came in, she was in the main observatory with dozens of other scientists. The room fell silent as the image appeared on the main screen. It was spherical, nearly the size of Mercury, with geometric patterns etched across its surface that pulsed with soft blue light. It moved with purpose, adjusting its course in ways no natural object could. "It's a ship," someone whispered, voicing what everyone was thinking. The next weeks were chaotic. World leaders met in emergency sessions. Military forces went on high alert. Religious groups proclaimed the end times or the arrival of gods. The stock market crashed, then surged as companies with space technology saw their values skyrocket. Dr. Kim found herself called to a meeting with the Global Space Coalition, the combined authority of Earth's space agencies. "We need to establish contact," she argued to the room of serious faces. "If they wanted to harm us, they could have done so from a distance. The fact that they're approaching openly suggests they want to communicate." Not everyone agreed, but Dr. Kim's logic eventually won out. Earth began broadcasting simple mathematical sequences toward the object, using radio waves and laser pulses. Days passed with no response. Then, on a quiet Tuesday morning, every communications device on Earth received the same signal simultaneously. Dr. Kim was in the shower when her tablet, phone, and computer all chimed at once. She wrapped herself in a towel and rushed to her computer. On the screen was a perfect response to Earth's mathematical greeting, followed by a new sequence. Dr. Kim's hand shook as she recognized what she was seeing. The object was communicating back. The next signal contained simple atomic structures, then more complex molecules. It was a language lesson, building from the fundamental constants of the universe to more complex concepts. Dr. Kim worked day and night with a team of linguists and mathematicians to understand and respond. Progress was remarkably fast, as if the ship's occupants had done this many times before. Within a month, basic concepts could be exchanged. The ship called itself Home Vessel and its occupants were peaceful explorers who had traveled between stars for thousands of years. They requested permission to enter the inner solar system. After much debate, Earth agreed, with conditions. The vessel must stop at the orbit of Mars and allow a human delegation to visit first. Dr. Kim was chosen to lead the scientific portion of the delegation. As she boarded the spacecraft that would take them to meet the visitors, she thought about how everything would change after today. "Are you ready?" asked Captain Lee, the mission commander. Dr. Kim nodded, clutching her tablet with all her research notes. "I've been ready my whole life." Their small ship launched from the moon, accelerating toward Mars where the planet-sized vessel now waited. As they approached, Dr. Kim pressed her face to the viewport, taking in the impossible scale of what they were seeing. The patterns on its surface now clearly formed intricate circuits and channels of energy. A signal reached their ship: "We welcome Earth humans. Prepare for arrival guidance." A section of the massive vessel's surface rippled and opened, revealing a docking bay large enough to hold a small city. Their ship was gently pulled inside by forces they couldn't detect. "This is it," Dr. Kim whispered as the airlock prepared to open. First contact. The small human vessel looked tiny inside the enormous docking bay. Dr. Kim stepped through the airlock alongside Captain Lee and 5 other team members. They wore lightweight spacesuits as a precaution, though sensors indicated the atmosphere was surprisingly Earth-like. "Stay together," Captain Lee reminded everyone. "Remember your training." The floor beneath them glowed softly, creating a path that led deeper into the vessel. They followed it cautiously, passing through corridors that seemed to shift and adjust their size as the humans moved through them. "It's like the ship is alive," whispered Dr. Yoon, the biologist. After walking for 15 minutes, they entered a large circular chamber. The walls displayed moving images of stars, planets, and galaxies. In the center of the room was a pool of what looked like liquid metal, shimmering with rainbow colors. The humans waited nervously. Then the pool began to move. Rising from the liquid were small crystalline figures, each about the size of a child's doll. They had no recognizable faces, but their bodies glowed with internal light that pulsed in patterns. 3 of them floated up to hover at eye level with the humans. A soft voice seemed to appear directly in each human's mind. "We are the builders. We welcome you to our vessel home." Captain Lee stepped forward. "We represent Earth. We come in peace and friendship." The crystalline beings pulsed brighter. "Your biological forms are fascinating. So different from our own." Dr. Kim couldn't contain her curiosity. "Your ship is incredible. How did you create something so large?" The middle builder moved closer. "It was once our planet. When our star began to die, we hollowed our world and transformed it into this vessel. We have traveled the stars for 10,000 of your years." The humans exchanged shocked glances. The technology required for such a feat was beyond imagination. "Would you like to see more?" asked the builders. Over the next few hours, they were shown wonders beyond belief. The builders took them to observation decks where they could see vast internal landscapes with alien plants and animals preserved from their home world. They visited engineering sections where energies unknown to human science flowed through crystal channels. Dr. Kim asked endless questions, which the builders answered patiently. They seemed especially interested in human biology. "Your species evolved in such low pressure, with such fragile bodies," one builder commented. "Yet you achieved space travel so quickly. Most biological species take 3 times longer to reach the stars." "Humans are adaptable," Dr. Kim explained. "We push boundaries." The builders led them to a chamber filled with holographic displays showing different alien species. "These are the other travelers we have encountered in our journey. 27 distinct civilizations." The humans stared in awe at the diversity of life forms represented. Some were vaguely humanoid, others completely alien, from gaseous clouds to silicon-based hives. "Where do you go on your journey?" asked Captain Lee. "We search for knowledge and resources. Some of our kind seek a new planet to settle. Others simply wish to explore." As the tour continued, Dr. Kim noticed something odd. "You keep referring to our biological forms as if it's unusual. Aren't most species biological?" The builder's lights pulsed in what seemed like amusement. "Yes, but most develop machine intelligence before achieving deep space travel. Your species is rare, you still pilot your own vessels rather than sending your digital minds." Captain Lee frowned. "We have artificial intelligence, but not at that level." "Yet you treat your machines as companions rather than tools," a builder noted. "We observed your communications. Your AI assistants are given respect. This is unusual." The conversation was interrupted when Dr. Yoon gasped. Through a viewport, she could see Earth shining brightly. They had traveled so far inside the vessel that they had lost track of their location. "We have circled your planet while we talked," explained a builder. "We wished to observe more closely." Before the humans could respond, a crystal panel appeared, displaying images from Earth. Crowds gathered in cities, looking up at the sky. News broadcasts. Military movements. The builders had been monitoring everything. Your people are afraid, stated a builder. This is understandable but unnecessary. Captain Lee's expression hardened. You've been watching us without permission. We meant no disrespect. We have a proposal. We wish to establish an exchange of knowledge. Our vessel contains libraries of science from many worlds. We offer this freely. And what do you want in return? Dr. Kim asked cautiously. The builder's lights pulsed slowly. Your creativity. Your unpredictable thinking. Your unique approach to problems. These are rare gifts in the universe. As the first meeting drew to a close, the humans prepared to return to their ship with incredible news. Humanity wasn't alone, and the universe was stranger and more wonderful than they had ever imagined. 6 months after first contact, Earth had changed forever. The moon now hosted a permanent meeting place between humans and the builders. A huge dome of crystal and steel stood on the lunar surface, half Earth design, half builder technology. Inside this dome, representatives from both species worked together every day. Dr. Kim walked through the main hall, still amazed by how quickly everything had happened. Today was special, the first major technology exchange would begin. Dr. Kim. There you are, called Dr. Bay, rushing over with an excited look. The builder representatives are ready in Chamber 3. They hurried through curved hallways until they reached a large room where 3 builders floated above a circular table. President Choi and 5 other world leaders sat around the table, looking both nervous and eager. We may begin, announced the lead builder, its crystalline body glowing bright blue. President Choi stood up. Today marks a historic moment for humanity. We are honored to share knowledge with your kind. The ceremony was short but meaningful. The builders presented humans with data crystals containing information about clean energy technology. In return, humans offered detailed studies of Earth's unique biodiversity and creative problem-solving methods. Your species thinks in ways we find fascinating, said a builder to Dr. Kim afterward. When faced with limited resources, you create unexpected solutions. Dr. Kim smiled. We've had to be creative to survive. Your kind seems to have mastered the physical universe in ways we can barely understand. The builder pulsed in what Dr. Kim now recognized as their version of laughter. We have traveled for thousands of years, learning from many worlds. Yet your planet's life systems are unlike any we have seen. Over the next weeks, teams of scientists began studying the builder technology. Dr. Kim led the group examining the planet ship's propulsion system. What they discovered was revolutionary. They don't move through space the way we do, she explained during a briefing. Their ship creates a bubble of altered spacetime. They essentially bring their destination closer rather than traveling the distance. The practical applications were enormous. Within months, human scientists had built small prototype engines based on builder principles. The first test flights cut travel time to Mars from months to hours. But the exchange went both ways. The builders were fascinated by human art, music, and storytelling. They had trouble understanding fiction. The concept of creating stories about things that never happened was foreign to them. Why do humans invest energy in imagining what is not real? A builder asked during a cultural exchange session. It helps us explore possibilities, explained Dr. Jean, the cultural liaison. Through stories, we can experience things beyond our own lives and prepare for future challenges. The builders absorbed this idea with great interest. They began creating their own simple stories, which they shared with delighted human audiences. One morning, Dr. Kim was called to an urgent meeting. When she arrived, she found Director Park looking worried. The builders have shared something new, he said quietly. Something they hadn't mentioned before. On a large display screen was an image of 6 enormous vessels, each similar to the one orbiting Earth but with different surface patterns. There are 7 builder ships in total, explained Director Park. They've been traveling separately for centuries, gathering different knowledge. Dr. Kim studied the image. Are they coming here too? No. They're scattered across the galaxy. But the builders want to establish communication between Earth and these other vessels. This revelation caused excitement and concern. Some government officials worried about builder intentions. Were they creating a network with Earth as just one node? Or was this truly the open exchange of knowledge they claimed? A special meeting was called with the builder representatives. President Choi spoke frankly. "We appreciate your openness, but we must ask, what is your long-term plan for relations with Earth?" The lead builder pulsed softly before answering. "We seek allies and friends. The universe is vast and mostly empty. Finding other intelligent life is precious." "And these other ships?" asked President Choi. "What do they seek?" "The same as we do. Knowledge. Resources. Connection. Each vessel carries different specialties. One studies stellar phenomena. Another collects biological samples. A third develops new technologies." Dr. Kim felt a tingle of excitement. The possibilities were endless. That night, standing at a viewport overlooking Earth, Dr. Kim watched her blue planet spinning below. A builder joined her silently. "Your world is beautiful," it said after a while. "It's our only home," replied Dr. Kim. "Or it was, until now." The builder pulsed gently. "Perhaps someday your kind will build your own vessel world and join us among the stars." Dr. Kim smiled at the thought. "I think we'd like that very much." The emergency alarms woke Dr. Kim from a deep sleep. Red lights flashed throughout her quarters at the lunar base. She grabbed her tablet and saw the urgent message, "All senior staff report to command center immediately." She dressed quickly and hurried through corridors filled with confused personnel. When she reached the command center, the atmosphere was tense. Director Park stood with Captain Lee beside a holographic display showing what looked like another builder vessel. But this one had dark patches across its surface, like wounds. "What's happening?" Dr. Kim asked. Captain Lee turned to her with a grim face. "We received a distress signal 2 hours ago. It's from one of the other builder ships, the one they call the Explorer." The main screen activated, showing a builder representative. Its crystalline body flickered with dim, erratic pulses. "Our vessel is under attack," it communicated directly to their minds. "The swarm has found us." Director Park explained to Dr. Kim, "The swarm is some kind of machine intelligence. The builders mentioned it briefly in their historical archives, but we didn't realize it was still active." On screen, they could see strange metallic objects attaching to the Explorer's hull. They looked like silver spiders, each the size of a small car. "They consume resources and replicate," the builder continued. "They seek our knowledge storage systems. We cannot repel them alone." President Choi joined the communication from Earth. "What assistance do you need? Your species has unique approaches to combat. Your unpredictability confuses machine intelligence. We request your help." The room fell silent. This would be humanity's first interstellar military action. Within days, Earth's combined space forces prepared for deployment. Using the builder's spacefolding technology, they could reach the Explorer vessel in just under a week. Dr. Kim was selected to join the mission due to her deep knowledge of builder systems. The military transport was crowded with soldiers and specialized engineers. General Han, a stern woman with decades of experience, commanded the mission. "Our primary objective is to protect the builder vessel," she briefed the team. "But make no mistake, we're also defending Earth. If these swarm machines can attack one planet ship, they could eventually find us." During the journey, Dr. Kim studied all available data on the swarm. The builders described them as self-replicating machines designed long ago by an extinct civilization. They evolved beyond their programming and now sought any advanced technology they could consume. When they arrived at the Explorer vessel, the situation was worse than expected. Thousands of silver machines crawled across its surface, boring into the hull. The Explorer's defensive systems flashed with energy beams, but the swarm simply absorbed the energy. "Their adaptation rate is incredible," Dr. Kim noted as she watched from the command deck. "They learn from each attack and adjust their defenses." General Han nodded. "Then we need to be unpredictable.
Lieutenant Joe, deploy the EMP drones.
The battle began. Earth's forces used constantly changing tactics: electromagnetic pulses followed by kinetic weapons, then focused heat beams, then freezing compounds.
The swarm couldn't adapt fast enough to the variety of attacks.
Dr. Kim worked with the builder scientists inside their vessel, helping coordinate the defense. During a quiet moment, she accessed the explorer's knowledge core to find more information about the swarm. What she discovered was disturbing.
Hidden in encrypted files was evidence that the builders weren't just traveling to explore.
They were fleeing. Something far worse than the swarm had consumed their original star system. "Why didn't you tell us?" she confronted her builder colleague. The builder's lights dimmed. "We feared you would not trust us if you knew we brought danger with us." "We deserved to know the risks," Dr. Kim argued. Their conversation was interrupted by a massive explosion. The swarm had breached the outer defenses and were attacking the ship's power core. If they reached the core, the space-time bubble could collapse, the builder warned. It would destroy everything within 1,000,000 kilometers. Dr. Kim had an idea. "Your ship communicates through quantum entanglement, right? Can we use that system to disrupt the swarm's coordination?" The builder's lights pulsed rapidly. "It is possible, but we would need to access their command units directly." Captain Lee volunteered to lead a team to the most heavily infested area.
Dr. Kim insisted on going too. She needed to operate the quantum disruptor.
The mission was dangerous. They fought through corridors already transformed by the machine invaders. Finally, they reached a hub where larger swarm units directed the smaller ones.
Dr. Kim activated the disruptor.
The effect was immediate. The swarm units began attacking each other, confused by contradictory commands. The victory came at a cost. Many human soldiers were lost, and the explorer vessel was badly damaged.
But the alliance between humans and builders was stronger than ever.
As they returned to Earth, Dr. Kim wondered what other dangers waited among the stars and whether humanity was ready to face them. 2 years after the battle with the swarm, Dr. Kim stood on the observation deck of the Jupiter orbital station. Through the massive window, she could see the framework of humanity's greatest project taking shape.
It looked like a metal skeleton of a small moon, curved supports stretching across space in perfect geometric patterns. Thousands of construction drones moved around it like busy insects.
Ships carrying materials from the asteroid belt arrived every few hours. "Impressive progress," said a voice behind her. Dr. Kim turned to see Engineer Yoon, who now led the construction team. His face showed both pride and exhaustion. 3 years ahead of schedule," she replied with a smile. "The builders said it would take us a decade just to understand the principles."
Engineer Yoon laughed. "They underestimated human determination.
Once we understood their spacefolding technology, we improved it." The two looked out at Earth's first planet ship, officially named New Horizon. Unlike the builder vessels, which were converted from actual planets, this one was being built from scratch using materials harvested from across the solar system. "The living quarters are almost complete," Engineer Yoon said.
"We can start moving the first residents in next month." Dr. Kim nodded. "How many people applied for the first crew?" "Over 10 million. We can only take 50,000 to start."
The selection process had been difficult.
Every nation wanted representation on humanity's first vessel capable of reaching other star systems.
The final crew included the best scientists, engineers, artists, and farmers from around the world.
An alert chimed on Dr. Kim's tablet. "The builder representatives are ready for the inspection."
They took a shuttle to the partially completed ship. Inside, the corridors were a blend of human and builder design. Plants grew along the walls, part of the self-sustaining ecosystem. The artificial gravity felt slightly stronger than Earth's.
3 builder representatives met them in the central command hub.
Their crystalline forms had become a familiar sight to humans over the past years. "Your progress exceeds our expectations," the lead builder communicated. "We've made some improvements to your original design," Engineer Yoon explained proudly. The builder pulsed with interest.
"Show us."
Engineer Yoon displayed holographic plans showing how the human designers had modified the propulsion system.
By adjusting the quantum field configuration, we've increased efficiency by 30%. The builders' lights flickered rapidly as they examined the design.
Remarkable. We would not have considered this approach. Humans are good at finding unusual solutions, Dr. Kim said.
It's our specialty.
The inspection continued through the ship's main systems. The builders were particularly impressed by the biological components humans had integrated. Plants didn't just provide food and oxygen, they were part of the ship's waste recycling and even helped with radiation shielding.
Life supporting life, a builder noted.
Elegant.
Later, in a conference room with views of Jupiter's swirling clouds, representatives from Earth's governments met with the builder delegation. The meeting would finalize the cooperation agreement for New Horizons' maiden voyage. President Cho, who had replaced President Choi in the last election, addressed the gathering. This project represents the best of humanity. Not just our technology, but our unity. For the first time in our history, all nations work together toward a common goal. The lead builder responded, "When we first arrived in your system, we did not expect to find such quick-learning allies. Your species has surprised us at every turn." Dr. Kim knew this was high praise.
The builders had encountered many civilizations in their travels, but humans had progressed faster than any of them.
The final agreement was signed.
New Horizon would launch in 6 months, with a mission to visit the nearest builder vessel and then explore beyond.
It would carry Earth's flag, but represent all humanity. On launch day, Dr. Kim stood in New Horizons' command center.
Captain Lee, who had fought alongside her against the swarm, sat in the commander's chair. Engineer Yoon monitored the propulsion systems.
The best minds from Earth filled every position. "Final systems check complete," announced the operations officer. "All green." Captain Lee looked at Dr. Kim. "Ready to make history?"
She nodded, remembering how this all began years ago when she first detected an anomaly at the edge of the solar system.
Who could have imagined where that discovery would lead? Initiating spacefold drive, Engineer Yoon called out.
Outside the viewports, space itself seemed to ripple and bend.
The stars stretched and then snapped into new positions.
Jupiter, Earth, and the Sun shrank to tiny points and then vanished.
New Horizon had taken its first step into the vast universe.
Humanity was no longer bound to one small planet. They had become travelers among the stars, ready to face whatever wonders and dangers waited in the cosmic ocean.
Dr.
Kim smiled as she thought of the message they'd left behind for Earth: "We go forward not just for ourselves, but for all who will follow."